Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Docsports MLB Triple Play Show. I am Griffin Murphy. Besides me is Doug Upstone, and we are Doc Sports. In this show, we will be covering the National League Western Division. We will be tossing out free plays, team overviews, game props, series futures, and our Friday night best bet. Doug, how'd your picks go last week on the show?
Well, it went 2-2 altogether. Not thrilled about that, but all you can do is all you can do sometimes, and sometimes things just don't go your way. But you know what? Hey, we'll try and bounce back and have a super day coming for this Friday.
Absolutely, Doug. Myself as well. I did go 2-2 on the show last week. I had the St. Louis Cardinals against the Phillies. Total was under 7.5. There were only 6 runs scored in that game, so I did drop that one. I had the over. I had the game prop Murphy winner with the White Sox and the Brewers. 0 runs were scored in the first inning. Everybody knows I love my first inning game props. I had a series winner, San Diego against the Kansas City Royals. San Diego took 2 of 3 of those games. And then my best bet did drop. I had Houston over Minnesota. That was a 6-1 loss. So I did go 2-2 last week. But since we have started the show, Doug, I am 10-6 across 16 free plays. So not bad by any means. This week looking to jump on fire and get this rolling going into next week. But let's jump right into this thing, Doug. We've got the NL West, and we're going to be talking a little bit about this Dodgers game right now. The Dodgers right now. Let's start rolling with this team. 39-25 on the season right now. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games, and they're coming off an 11-7 win last night. Los Angeles is definitely not that same tier team that we saw last season. I have to make that bold right now. This team, they're playing extremely inconsistent when it comes to runs scored and runs allowed. There are games that they're just winning by 10 runs, and there's games where they're scoring literally 0 runs, 1 run, 2 run, 3 runs. The consistency with this Dodgers team for me is not there right now. They're 2-1 in their last 3 series matchups, but they have not had a difficult series matchups by any means. They swept the Mets. They took 2 of 3 from the Rockies at home, and they're coming off a series loss against Pittsburgh in their most recent series. Now they have a very tough road series ahead. They're headed to New York to play the red-hot Yankees. Yankees, personally, in my eyes, this is inconsistent with the Dodgers right now, and it's a bet off for me, this team. In fact, for the Yankees right now, just in this series, I'm going to be scouting pitching matchups more than anything. This is going to be more of a totals lookout for me. Depending on offensive efficiency, that is where I'm going to be looked. Because if Los Angeles heads into New York and they play good baseball, they come back home and they get to play the Rangers. And that is going to be something where we can definitely find a lot more value picking sides. So right now, I'm sure against the Rangers, we're going to get a lot more better opportunity. And it's very hard to bet against one of those teams like the New York Yankees. When you're betting on 2 teams that are dependently the best teams in baseball, you necessarily don't really want to go side on side. You want to look for totals, and that's what I'm going to be looking for here in this series, Doug. They're just not consistent right now. They're not playing the same baseball that I expected them to play right now. So until this series is over, they're going to be a totals team for me. What are your thoughts right now on the Dodgers, Doug?
Yeah, this is a measuring stick series to me. I mean, the Yankees are clearly the best team in baseball. The Dodgers want to be, and so this is their opportunity to do something about it.
Right.
They were being shut out the other night, and then the next night they were so mistake prone in that 10-6 loss. I think it was Wednesday night. I agree. They haven't looked good. And here's the problem. Okay, after you get the Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, and Will Smith batting, okay, if 2 of those guys aren't hitting, the rest of the lineup is not strong enough to carry the team. The Dodgers, they're going to win a lot of games. Okay, we're not worried about that. But, they're in the bottom 25% in terms of betting, okay, in terms of units in Major League Baseball. Unless the Dodgers get hot, it's really hard, as you said, to really back them. The one thing that you said that I completely agree with, right now the Dodgers are 19-12 under on the road. So that's something to look for this weekend with them as well.
I love it. I love the breakdown, Doug. I want to shift gears here right into this NL West. I want to get your breakdown, but I'll jump on this one first, and that's going to be between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. I'm going to give a little breakdown about this Padres team right now, because this is going to be a very interesting breakdown. This is going to be a very interesting series, I must say. The Padres right now, they're in a complete debacle. The offense has been atrocious. They've lost 5 games in a row. Prior to the series, they lost 2 of 3 to Kansas City, followed by a 3-game sweep against a brutal Los Angeles Angels club. San Diego, offensively, scored a total of 5 runs in a 3-game set against Los Angeles. The Angels, they're 26th in the MLB when it comes to runs scored against on the defensive side. They have brutal pitching this far, and San Diego only scoring 5 runs in 3 games. The team's a mess right now, and I have no interest in them. Doug, what are your thoughts currently with this Padres team?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that was also interesting about losing the series to the Angels, here's the other thing not everybody might know about. That was the Angels' first series win at home, okay? And it's a sweep. Yeah. I mean, it's June, Griffin. I mean, it's ridiculous.
3 months
in. And going into that series, they were 19-11. The Padres were on the road. So they were play on away, play against at home, being 13-19. And I think that with last night's loss to Arizona, I think they're 13-19 at home. Here's the thing, though. I look at this team. You got to look at their roster. You got Machado. You got Tatis Jr. You got Bogart. You got Profar. You got Cronenworth.
It sounds stacked.
Yeah, I mean, this team should not be below 500. So here's something that I was just curious enough to look up. I don't know if everybody knows. I know Griffin does, but follows the WAR ratings of the players' individual numbers, and it tells you basically about how good they are overall. Well, guess what? I just named 6 different players, or 5, whatever it was. Guess who's the leader in WAR on their team? The shortstop. Kim is their best player based on WAR. If that's not a condemnation on this team, I don't know what is. Machado, he might be the best player on the team. He is a big problem, though, in terms of what goes on in that locker room, in terms of leadership. Again, lost again last night in a very winnable game at home against Arizona. I cannot back this team at home. I will, though, back them tonight. Okay, I like their situation tonight, so they're one of my plays tonight. But in terms of the series, I think at best it's going to be a split. Okay, and if San Diego loses, I would not be surprised. But I'll give them one shot tonight in this one.
Doug, it's extremely sharp the way you went about this because I am on the same page with you right now. I'm going to talk about this Arizona Diamondbacks team, and I'm going to give out my free play right here. So D-backs, they fell off. I mean, this is definitely not the same D-backs team that we saw last season. They're still very young. They're dynamic. They're powerful, and they're smart young athletes. They have great on-base percentage, so they do walk a lot. So monitor them when they are playing pitchers with high walk counts. They're also a team we can rely on for base knocks, and they find gaps. They do. Pitching has been an issue for this club all season long. Their bullpen has been a complete cluster with a high 4.79 ERA in the month of May. We have to keep our eyes on them right now. They started off the season in April going 11-16, May 11-15, but they started off June 5-1 and hitting 284 as a club. And tonight's matchup, I like the D-backs here at plus 105. 5-1 in their last 6 games, hitting 284 this month as a team. It all sounds really good. But Arizona, they hit 279 as a team against lefties, but a brutal 229 against right-handed pitching. Michael King is going to get the start tonight for San Diego. King tosses from the right side. He's also only allowed 2 runs in his last 2 outings combined and 12 outings of work. The Padres, their bullpen has been very strong, backing him up in the month of May with a 3.49 bullpen ERA last month. The market is trap baiting you all over the map. They want you to drill the Diamondbacks in this game, knowing that the Padres are on a 5-game losing streak. Giving the D-backs just a minus 125 line. It's right there. The Padres a minus 125 line. They're giving you plus value. They're giving you juice to jump on the D-backs. They're baiting you. They're trapping you. This is a trap bet in my eyes. And tonight, and only tonight, Doug, I will be backing the Padres on the money line at a minus 125 line. That will be my free play. But
all right, hey, we're in agreement on this one. All right, I like it.
Okay. Double whammy here, Doug. We got to smack.
There we go. How can anything go wrong with the two of us on the same game? Jeez,
exactly, man.
As far as the Diamondbacks go, you touched on, kind of what people thought about this team. And, I forget. Yeah, I think you were still here early in the spring before moving. And, we both knew all the hype about, everybody's so excited about the Diamondbacks here in the Phoenix area and stuff. But, we both took more of a wait and see approach because we knew that, maybe they just caught lightning in a bottle and kind of looks that way. Okay. Last year, in terms of what they did, like you mentioned, their bullpen isn't very good. Their offense isn't bad. They're still in the top 10. But here's a question I have for you. Where the heck is Corbin Carroll at? Okay. Among the starting players, the starting everyday players, he is last in batting average and on-base percentage. He just looks absolutely lost at the dish. Obviously he's been figured out. Last year they tried to pitch him up a lot, and he was able to get on top of a lot of those balls. And as you mentioned, hitting things either in the corners or in the alleys. So that's, unless he gets going, I'm just not sure what this team can do. But here's the good news. Besides playing San Diego and having some good opportunities this weekend, okay, they're home. They come right back home after going to San Diego. They're going to play the Angels and the White Sox. So if there's ever a tipping point to get their season rolling, it's basically right now. And so we'll see what they can do.
Better do it against the White Sox. Am I right? Come on, man. Let's shift gears here, though, really quickly. I do want to say, though, if Corbin Carroll really can get it going, I mean, you have Guerrero, you have Marte. This team still has all the power to be a good team.
Oh, yeah.
But until Carroll gets it going, the team is waiting on his shoulders right now. But let's shift gears right now, Doug. I want to talk about the San Francisco Giants team really quick. Giants, for me, they're a weird team in a weird spot right now. They play very good baseball during day games, but struggle during night games. They play really strong at Oracle Park, but they struggle on the road. They're trending upwards right now, though. It's something I must say. Going 12-14 in April, then 15-13 in May. But now, 1-5 in June. They're all over the map. I just can't get a sense of direction. I can't find the indicator on this team, Doug. What are your thoughts right now with the San Francisco Giants team?
Yeah, coming into the season, they made some really nice moves in the offseason to improve their defense, okay, and hopefully then the case was to improve their hitting as well. The three players in particular that were supposed to do that were Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler, and Blake Snell. Well, other than Chapman, and even that's kind of limited, okay, this trio has not panned out at all. And I think this is something that's holding this team back. They're missing basically a starting pitcher. I mean, now Snell's on the IL, but boy, if there was ever, between him and Montgomery with Arizona now, if there was ever a reason why people wonder about spring training, how important it is, especially for pitchers, these two guys are the poster child, okay, for that this season. Offense has actually been a little better than anticipated, all things considered. 4.3 runs per game, 17th overall. Pitching, though, big problem. Okay, 25th in runs per game allowed. Okay, that's an issue. With this team, if you're looking to make money on the Giants, get them on the road. Look at the total. They're 21-10 over on the road. Something to keep in mind going forward.
I love it. I agree with you, man. And that I love where you went with that Blake Snell Montgomery. I watched a post-game press conference, and they interviewed Blake Snell, and he talked about it. He's like, man, you're in spring training and you're pitching against these 18, 19-year-old kids. Then all of a sudden you're thrown into the bigs and you're playing. You got Aaron Judge up at the plate. The difference, it's like going from high school to single A baseball. So I could totally agree and totally understand that. But let's shift gears really quick here, Doug. I want to jump into this Colorado Rockies team right now. 22-40 on the year, not having a good year by any means. They're pitching 30th in the MLB when it comes to runs against, allowing nearly 5.6 runs per game. The bullpen on top of it is brutal. In the month of May, 4.33 ERA, awful. They're 1-5 in their last 6 games. They're 1-5 in the last 6 games, and now they have a 7-game road stand. Although they took game 1 of their 4-game set with St. Louis last night. They're 9-23 on the road this season and just hitting .230 as a club. They went 6-19 in April, but followed up in May, going 14-13. Now they are 1-5 in the month of June, hitting .218 as a club. The issue for this team right now is their pitching. They have allowed 348 runs this season, which is the worst in baseball. The run differential is -96 runs opposed from offense to defense on the season. Now, they have a 4-game stand against the Cardinals. After taking game 1 last night, I will not be looking for any action on this Rockies team until Sunday. Ty Blach will get the start on Sunday for Colorado. He throws from the left side. St. Louis is hitting a brutal 206 against left-handed pitching this season. There's no line out yet in that game, but if I was looking to strike on the Rockies, take them in game 4 of the series. We know that they can produce runs offensively, and the Cardinals can't touch left-handed pitching this season. So I'm sure we're going to be able to find some tremendous value in game 4. But in these next 2 games, they're going to have to deal with Lance Lynn. He throws from the right side, and Kyle Gibson. He throws from the right side. They both toss from the right. I will be fading the Rockies until game 4, where I will be looking for tremendous value. Doug, what is your thoughts with the Colorado Rockies right now?
Yeah, they gave you some encouragement. A little over a week ago? They played division leaders Philadelphia and Cleveland, and they won both series. Okay, so and then they went to Dodger Stadium. They lost 2 out of 3. No surprise there. But then, they had a chance to do something a little extra, and they just couldn't do it. Okay, they were horrible. Okay, against Cincinnati at home. So you mentioned the problems with this team. The number one problem with this team is ownership. Okay, let's just get that out. Okay, is that this owner, he just is collecting checks from MLB, taking the TV money, everything else, has no intention, of putting a winning team on the field, because if you've ever been to their stadium in Denver, any weeknight, it's pretty darn nice out there, and you watch the sunset in left field. Okay, it's pretty cool. Okay, so it's just a nice night, and people do like baseball there. But as you mentioned, and to take your point about run differential, if you just extrapolate that number into per game, they're losing this year by 1.5 runs per game. Okay, I mean, that has to make them run line material playing against almost every night. Now, I'm not suggesting to do that, but boy, I don't know. I think that's almost like the first thing you check, is with them. Do you think they can get beat by 2 runs a game? I was surprised they won yesterday against St. Louis, to be perfectly honest, and then they're going to go to Minnesota next. So in this case, I think that, looking at the opposing teams that are playing, the home teams, I should say, that are playing Colorado, might want to consider some run line action. Just do your homework and find it, and you should be able to cash.
I like it, Doug. I'm thinking for these next 2 games, you want to attack the Rockies. You go with St. Louis run line with Lynn and Gibson. And then game 4, again, if you get that tremendous value, something like a plus 165 and up line, drill the Rockies. They drill left-handed pitching, and we know, as mentioned, Ty Blach will be on the bump. Let's go even deeper, though, into this right now. Game props, Doug. Everybody knows I love my first inning game props. We've got the Friday night Yerfy-Nerfy first inning matchup. Seattle Mariners at Kansas City Royals. This is either a Yerfy or a Nerfy for those of you who haven't tuned in before. Nerfy, that means no runs first inning. Yerfy, yes runs first inning. This is that quick hit. Going into this, Seattle Mariners, they roll into Kansas City to play the Royals. Bryce Miller, he will be getting the start tonight for Seattle. Miller has 70 innings of work this season with a 3.18 ERA. He's got 71 strikeouts and just 19 walks. Miller, in his last outing, best outing of the season, he went 6 innings, allowed just 3 hits, 0 runs against the Angels. Seattle, on top of that, to back him up, they can't. They're 27th in the MLB when it comes to offensive runs per game and have scored just 7 runs total in their last 3 games, which is brutal. And then for the Royals, Dylan Lynch will get the start. He's been brilliant this season. He only has 12 innings of work, but he's got a 1.50 ERA. Kansas City hits their worst against right-handed pitching with the team batting average of 247. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're dealing with injuries, especially at the top of their lineup with Michael Massey out. I will be drilling the Nerfy in this game. No runs first inning at a minus 115 line. Doug, what is your game prop rolling into this one?
Well, I just want everybody to know is that pay attention to what Griffin is talking about in this. He studies this every single day. And so he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. So, he's not always going to be right, but if you're not paying attention to what he's talking about, you're missing out on an opportunity. Now, I'm going to transition over to another prop that I like today. And actually, it's kind of an interesting, I'll give you the story on this. So I went to DraftKings this morning. I was looking for something for myself, to tell you the truth, what I could find. And I saw Chris Sale's over under 5.5 strikeouts. I thought, beautiful. Okay. I mean, he's coming off his worst outing of the year easily against Oakland of all teams, where he was just barreled like crazy, giving 8 runs to the A's in 4 innings. He fanned a season low 4 batters, but prior to that, in his last 5 starts, he has struck out at least 8 batters in those 5 starts. So upon closer inspection, I don't wear glasses yet, but I'm getting there. Okay, I'm almost there. So I looked a little closer, and all of a sudden I saw minus 190 to that 5.5. So it's like, out of here with that idea. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, not putting out that much money. Well, went back about an hour later, and no surprise, it was up to 6.5. But I'm okay with 6.5, to tell you the truth, on this one, because he has gone over 6.5, 8 of his 11 starts. Now, Washington, they're actually not bad in terms of strikeouts. They're slightly below average in terms of for the team, and I'm sure that played a part into what the odds makers was thinking here. But I think Sales is going to have a bounce back game against a slumping Nationals team right now that is only averaging 3 runs per game in their last 7. So I'm going to say Sales by the 6.5 strikeouts, and that's my prop play for today.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's head right into series predictions right now. And this is going against a little bit, I'll take this one, a little bit about what I had just broken down with the Colorado Rockies, but there's tremendous value here. And this is a light sprinkle. For the Rockies to win the series, it's plus 290. They're already up 1-0. This is a 4-game set. I know that the Rockies are capable of winning game 4. It is very much possible. They can most definitely jump in there and take 1 game from Lance Lynn or Gibson. Gibson has not had his best stuff all season long, and Lance Lynn is coming off a game where he went against the Phillies. I believe he allowed 4 runs in 5 or 6 innings pitched. Lance Lynn, I watched him. I am from Chicago. I watched him pitch with the White Sox. This guy is either going to come out and give you 7 innings of dynamic baseball, 1 to 2 runs, or he's a mental head case where he starts going into an inning, he starts walking everybody, and all of a sudden it turns into a 4, 6, 7 run inning. So this guy is capable of getting smashed. Both of these pitchers are. So I am giving out right here the Rockies series. This is a sprinkle, 1 unit absolute max at plus 290 to win the series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Doug, who's your series prediction?
I like your guts on that one. So, yeah, I'm going to go with look at Toronto. Toronto was really looking in rough shape on Wednesday morning, because they had just lost 2 home games against Baltimore in really a must-win series, a 4-game series. Well, they came back and at least got a split, taking the last 2 games, so that helped them. So in their last 3 series, they're 2-0-1, and now they're heading to Oakland. Oakland has dropped 8 of their last 9 series, and I'm not confident that's going to change. In the opener, Chris Bassett is finding his rhythm now. He's got a 1.59 ERA in his last 3 starts. And I think his teammates should be able to do some damage against the A's Hogan Harris for a W there. Now, in the middle game, I'm going to go with Kevin Gausman. We know, like Bassett, he's a veteran pitcher. He knows how to pitch. And he's going up against, now, some of those will have to, that certain age will play along with me here, going up against Luis Funky Cool Medina. Okay. Yeah. And for those that don't know, okay, that was a song in 1989 by Tone Loc, Funky Cool Medina. And whenever I see this guy's name out there, I have to bring that up. It's just me. Okay. I think that I just like to know.
I don't blame you, man. That's a good one.
so anyway, if you don't know, go to YouTube. Okay. Look up Funky Cool Medina. You can enjoy the song for about 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it is on that one. So I like the situation there. And then the series finale, the always challenging to be determined is right now the scheduled pitcher for Toronto, and they're going to go up against somebody named Mitch Spence, okay, for Oakland. I think Toronto takes the first 2 games, series over. I got a winner, and maybe you do too.
I like it, Doug. I like it, man. Let's jump right on over and let's talk about what we have going on over at the website. If you want to hit us off and lead off for us.
I will certainly do that. And Griffin's hot in baseball, and so am I. Okay.
I know you are.
I'm on runs. Well, last night I went 2-0. Okay. That is my 7th sweep of 2-0 or greater since May 22nd. I'm 22-6, most recently 26-8. Okay. a little bit longer term. So it has been a hellacious baseball run. And people ask why. You know what? Sometimes it just happens. Okay, it's like losing streaks. It just happens. So I'm in. I'm ready to go. I got a 7-unit best bet ready to roll tonight, and so look to cash in big on that. So we'll see what we can do there. And by the way, we'll get to that in a second. Somebody else also has a 7-unit play that's doing the same show. I wonder who that could be.
Yeah,
so I will also let you know, horse racing. Not everybody likes horse racing, okay, but I do, and I'm pretty good at it. So from that standpoint, so the Belmont Stakes is this weekend. I have 5 races, okay, total. 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, including the Belmont Stakes. Docs has a special price of just $25 for both days. So for me, $25 for 5 races. I got 4 bets in the 2 races today. So check that out. The last 2 Triple Crown Fridays, I've had winning days, looking to make it 3 in a row. And then lastly, of what matters basically for today, CFL action started. That's right, Canadian football. And somebody says, who cares? Well, I care. You know what? And if you want to make some money, you should care too. Because last year I made $1,720 or $710 betting Canadian football. I did there each and every week, pounded away on it. So I got a game of the week, week 1 going today. So we have that. And then like Griffin on a super run in the NHL. I'm still deciding about that. 6-0 run right now in the NHL. So I'm deciding on that for Friday. Griffin, that's what I got. I'm turning it over to you. Talk more about that 7-unit best bet you got going in baseball and some other things you got going too.
Absolutely, Doug. And we always tell it how it is here at Docs. And we're not here to tell you guys, oh, we're tearing it up left and right. We'll tell you guys when we're doing bad. We're up front. We'll tell you guys when we're cold. We'll tell you guys when we're hot. It just so happens to be the case. Doug and myself are red hot right now. When it comes to baseball, 10 of my last 13 days have all come out and resulted in profit. I'm on a $4,080 run. I'm 7-2 in my last 9 plays. When it comes to NBA, I'm 7-3 in my last 10 games, up almost $2,000 in the postseason. NHL, 4-0 in my last 4 plays, up $1,400 in NHL. Soccer, 26-17 in my last 43 selections. When it comes to plays rated 6.0 or higher, 14-9. WNBA off to a phenomenal start, 12-7 to start the season, $2,400 profit. Tonight, MLB, 7-unit best bet. That's a lone soldier. That play goes out at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can check that one out on my Docs bio. You want to jump on that one as well as Doug's, feel free to do so. If you want to jump on board, slam dunk, Hail Mary, let's do it. We'll alley-oop it together, Doug. Going even deeper right now, soccer 7-unit best bet today at 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. That is a lone soldier as well. And I have one more lone soldier as well as a game prop. I have WNBA 7-unit best bet at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then my lone soldier, first inning game prop. Everybody knows I love them. Yerfy Nerfy. That goes off at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. Those are my plays. Those are my slate. That is how I have been doing as of late. Doug, I do know you wanted to mention one thing going on about next week. So if you wanted to jump on board and talk.
Yeah, I'll talk real briefly about that before we get to the best bets. And I will let you know there will not be a show next week because yours truly will be on vacation. Of course, I'll still be putting out picks and everything else, but just got to take a little break. It's been a long time since August, so little time off never hurts anybody. So yes, my wife and I are heading out of town, so that'll be a lot of fun. But we'll be back the following week, and we're going to do shows at least for the next 6 weeks. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we're going to go. We just went through all 6 divisions. Well, we're going to come back and do updates on all 6 divisions going forward. So everybody should look forward to that, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Perfect. And then what everybody's been waiting for is the Friday night best bet. And you know what? It's the trap bet, Doug. I'm taking the Padres here at that -125 line over the Dbacks. They already set the rod in the water. This is baited game. The public, they're all over the D-backs. The Padres, they're in a better position here, including with that 5-game losing streak. We broke the game down. We talked about the pitching. We talked about the right-handed pitching. We talked about the bullpen for the Padres. We gave all the reasons why the Padres are the play here tonight. We're both on board with that. My best bet for you guys going into tonight is taking the Padres only tonight. Taking the Padres money line at a -125 line. Doug, what is your best bet rolling into tonight?
Well, I'm going to the AL West, and I'm looking at Houston facing the Los Angeles Angels. Angels, despite their success this week earlier with the home sweep of San Diego, they're still 10-21 at home. And the Houston Astros are in the midst of a puzzling season at 28-35. Now, it's all you have to do is look, if you've watched any of their games and actually follow box scores as well, their lack of clutch hitting and inability to hold leads late in games, okay, is the answer to their problem. If you look right now, they're sitting at 5-13 in one-run games, okay? And so one-run games are random events. From year to year, they can change, but there's always a reason as to why, good or bad, as to why they happen. So I just told you why it's happening for them. Stroh starter tonight's going to be Framber Valdez, 4-3, 395. His strikeouts, though, 3.95 ERA, by the way, his strikeouts are down this year. I think it's either one or both of these reasons. Postseason innings the last several years, okay, taking its toll, and he's now 30 years old, okay, and not every pitcher, but a lot of pitchers that have put a lot of innings in, that's kind of the age where the velocity starts to decrease. Not everybody, but enough different guys, and that could be a problem here. Now, he can still be, though, very effective against the Angels. He and his teammates got a 10-5 record at Anaheim. The Angels are going to counter with Griffin Canning, 2-5 as a starter this year with a 4.59 ERA. The Halos are 2-8 when he's pitched. He's pitched a little bit better lately, but his ERA in 7 starts against Houston, it's big gulp size. Okay, so with that one, 6.99 ERA. Angels are good against left-hander starters this year at 8-4, but I'm looking at this team. They are 8-22 against a team that has a bullpen whip of 1.25 or lower, and 2-11 at home against teams who draw 3 walks or less. Give me the Astros to go to 12-5 for my best bet at the Big A in Anaheim tonight.
There you guys have it, the Astros best bet. So as everybody knows, Doug will be out next Friday, so we will resume the following Friday. We just want to thank everybody for tuning into the Docsports MLB Triple Play Show. We hope this information was pertained. You guys can utilize this to the best of your ability and cash in some huge profits. So we won't see you guys next week, but stay tuned because we will see you guys the following week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys soon.